Now, in terms of the market and what are the important cues that we have from the global end, US markets closed mixed. Let's look at what the Asian market is doing. That also seems like most of them have opened up in the green, but there are a few ones which are in the red. So a bit of a mixed opening. Taiwan index, 0.5% of gain there. Hang Seng is managing to hold on to gains of 0.4%. Nikkei has opened up with a mild gain of around 0.1%. Shanghai also is holding on to gains of 0.1%. What's not doing well? ASX 200, the Australian index, that is trading with cuts of almost 0.8% in today's trading session. So yes, that's where we're seeing some bit of a pressure coming in. Kospi, that's the Korean index, that's also seeing a bit of a decline in today's trading session. So a bit of a mixed opening is what has come in from the Asian markets. Nifty, GIFT Nifty, what is the indication there? Seems like a bit of a muted to red start is what we're keeping an eye out on. 24 points down is what the Nifty implied open as of now is indicating for the Indian market. So that's what we'll be keeping an eye out on. Whether we're going to be seeing a bit of a red session or will this recover will be key. But as of now, Nifty implied open is down 24 points. But let's look at the overnight cues that we have coming in, and to set you up for trade also, we have a team of research as always joining in with us. Firstly, let's go across to Urmas, who is there to tell us which are the important cues that we are keeping an eye out on today. Good morning, Urmas.
Good morning, Vinny. And it's a very important session that lies before us today, and yesterday was no different. We had a very range-bound session, but the good part is that the Nifty ended close to the highest point of the day. The dip that came in earlier was bought into, but that's where the good part ends. The not so good part is the fact that for the last 4 sessions, the Nifty has been making lower highs and lower lows. And if you could see that, they have not been able to cross the previous day's highs now for the last 4 sessions. They could not do so last week. They're not able to do so in Monday's session as well. So that could be a bit of a dampener. But for the Nifty Bank, that was an outperformer in yesterday's session. The one good thing, it could not cross the previous day's highs, but it did manage to cross the previous day's lows. So that streak of lower lows was broken, but the lower highs are still to be broken. So that is the important level, that 58,254 level for the Nifty Bank, which is last week's high, is an important one to watch out for going into today's session. The outperformance continues from the PSU banks, and out of the 12 constituents that the index has, 6 of them are trading at 52-week highs. Today is a very important day for the PSU bank index simply because SBI reports results today. That will give a trajectory for the PSU banks as well. For the index itself, the Monday's high, which was 25,803, that's the first important level to watch on the upside that it needs to cross. On the downside, the 25,650, 25,700 zones, supports emerging from that level. So if there is any dip that comes in at the start, that will be an important level to watch out for on the downside. And today's session, as I mentioned, SBI, but apart from SBI, Mahindra and Mahindra, Adani Ports, Adani Enterprises, Indigo, more Nifty companies reporting results today. There are some very important broader market results as well for the likes of Paytm, Suzlon, Indian Hotels, Castrol, and a lot of other companies. Today, of course, being the weekly expiry of the Nifty contracts, we are also heading into a midweek holiday tomorrow, so we need to watch out for some profit taking potentially if it emerges in the final few minutes of the trading session. The primary market activity remains busy because Lenskart IPO, the final day, Grow IPO opens for subscription today. So it's a busy day for the markets, for the primary markets, on the earnings front as well. The GIFT Nifty for now indicating a slightly muted start, but some important levels to watch out for both on the upside and the downside.
Okay, important levels that we'll be keeping an eye out on. Thanks so much for that, Hormaz. But let's go across to Vivek, who's here to tell us which are the important stocks that we should be keeping an eye out on today. Good morning, Vivek.
Well, good morning. Largely dominated by earnings. 3 key Nifty companies delivered results post-market hours. Bharti Airtel, while the results are largely in line with estimates, the ARPU is something that has come in quite strong. The ARPU has actually come in at 256 rupees versus just around 250 rupees on a sequential basis. Profitability, revenues, EBITDA, as well as margins, all healthy and a slight beat above what the CNBC-TV18 poll was anticipating. Now, coming to Power Grid, it's been a slightly muted quarter for the second straight quarter. Revenues, largely in line with what we were anticipating, but the EBITDA has fallen almost 6%. Margins too has seen a sharp contraction on a year-on-year basis. Higher other expenses as well as the decreasing share of profits in the JV is something that has impacted the earnings. Now, Titan again largely in line with what the CNBC-TV18 poll was anticipating. Revenues, in fact, above what we were anticipating. But have a look at the EBITDA as well as the EBITDA margins. That's been a miss, indicating that there was a higher share of lower margin products as far as the sales mix was concerned. Profitability too slight miss to what we were anticipating. Now coming to Bharti Hexacom, revenue higher by 2.5%, profitability higher by 7.5%. The only concern over here is that there has been a subscriber share loss as far as Q2 is concerned. Now coming to Hitachi Energy, extremely strong set of numbers. Also margin guidance is something that the Street is hoping that the company will upgrade. So profitability is coming at close to 264 crore versus just around 50 crore on a year-on-year basis. Other results that will, or other stocks that will react to strong results, LCS Enterprises, TBO Tech, Gallant Ispat, Godfrey Phillips, City Union Bank, Acme Solar. On the other hand, a few laggards that you could expect in today's trading session. Have a look at Kirloskar Brothers, Arvind Smart Spaces, JK Paper. All of them are quite weak. Apart from that, keep an eye out on Hero Motor as well. The sales data indicating that there has been a dip on a year-on-year basis as far as two-wheeler sales are concerned.
Okay, Vivek, thank you so much for that. But let's move on. And to set you up for the last leg is the F&O space. That's going to be important as well. Good morning, Sudarshan. What are we keeping an eye out on here? And obviously, today is going to be the expiry as well.
That's correct. So it seems like that Nifty is in a congestion zone and the range is of 25,700 to 26,000. That's the range where we are seeing a heavy FI selling for the last few sessions. Continuously, we are seeing that FIs being on the sell side. Yesterday also in the cash market and in the derivative, FIs have sold. In the cash market, they have sold nearly 1,900 crore. And in the index futures too, they have sold almost 1,200 crore. Their long exposure remains around 16%, but they have added more short positions. Yesterday, they have added more than 6,500 contracts, while on the long side, addition was just around 370 contracts. In the options data also, you will see that on the call side, two options strike rates were active. That was 25,750 and 25,800, where we have seen maximum addition of the open interest, but at the same time, there was a fall in the premium. But on the put side, we have seen premium increasing for both 25,650 as well as 25,700. Support for Nifty remains around 25,530. That's a very important level. And resistance would be now 26,000. The hope is that Nifty gets back to the level around 26,000. For Nifty Bank, support would be 57,800. Yesterday, Nifty Bank was outperforming, and now resistance has moved higher to 58,600. That's the record high level. I'll keep an eye on two stocks. First one is Indus Towers, that has been seeing fresh longs after the SE's AGR order, and the second one is Voltas, that has been seeing fresh shorts.
Okay, Sudarshan, thank you so much for the update there. But